Hi, I'm Peter. How are you? Got today's broadcast not brought to you by Dr. Pepper. Diet Dr. Pepper, delicious, great with football. So, welcome. Let's see. First in the chat, Griffin Fishrooms. Anthony's or Daryl Deemer, Anthony's Fishy Friends. Apparently, Brandon was here with Mr. B's. I just don't see it for whatever reason. Bob Kaler, Chewy in the house. Daryl Deemer, let's see here. Valley Fish. All right, how y'all doing? Yeah, should I flip it around? Let's see if I can do that. Hold on a second here. Da, 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 da. I'm gonna have to figure that out another way. You see Las Vegas backwards? Yeah, that's not good. I'll have to figure out how to do that. I don't think my settings are right. We'll work that out. And by the way, it's good. It's a good skill to read things backwards. So yeah, so 5 weeks from now, I will be I'll be closing on my house just over 5 weeks, March 2nd. And the process of moving fish, because normally when I've moved across country. So I've had to disperse my fish when I've had to do that. Well, I'm not moving anymore. This is it. I'm gonna move into this house. They're gonna have to take me out in a body bag. I'm not going anywhere. All right. So I'm not dispersing fish. But I will say this that the whole fish thing is and the whole fish moving thing is quite a process. So they had these specials on like 75 gallon aquariums at PetSmart. Okay, I'm gonna get that. Um, then I was looking at racks today, and so I was looking at racks, and I was trying to figure out how tall and all that sort of stuff is. So I have found a couple of racks that I want to get. They'll be perfect to put. I think one of them is big enough to put 29 gallons, end to end. So you're just seeing it, that you just have the lengthwise. I would like that because of the Amica Splendens. I don't want to take too much shelf space. So if I can set up two, three 29s in a row, be really good, and then set up some 20 highs for grow outs. Sort of what I want to do. Then go back to my tens. Yeah, buckets needed. Well, here's the deal. And the deal here is that I am hoping. It depends where I'm going to set it up. It's and again, it's not like I'm not married. I just have, I've got Bolo. Um, so I've been halfway thinking of putting one of the big racks in the kitchen dining room area. It's huge, and I could put one of the racks there. Been thinking it through. So it's all good. So the deal is on day one, it's gonna be relatively simple. I'm gonna move over. Uh, I'm gonna go and move over the uh, put up the new aquarium, put up the racks. I guess it's going to be next week. I have to meet somebody for breakfast in Springfield. So I'll go hit Petco and I'll buy some 10s and maybe a 29. My car, I don't have the world's biggest car. I can put in six 10s. And so I'll sort of figure that out. Maybe I'll do the 6 10s. Then the next weekend, I have to go down to, hey, Tampa Tom, how are you? Then I have to go down to Fayetteville for a fish club meeting. So maybe I'll get my 29s there and a couple of 20 highs. I have four. Let's see. How many do I have? I have 10 10s set up right now. So if I keep that same size, I probably would like to set up like 12, 14 10s. You know how this goes. So I have four ready to be set up. I have two that I have not set up breeders in that I have up and running. And part of me just says, I'm not setting up breeders in those aquariums. I'm just going to go and move them over. So that's what's going on. It's, by the way, Tampa Tom, have you been eating iguana? I understand the chicken of the trees has been falling down and people are eating themselves some iguana. Thanks, Bob, for putting that up. Really appreciate having you there. Um, so yeah, so that's sort of the deal. Sort of the process that that I have to go through and follow through with. So yeah, so I want to go in, get this big rack up, get a bunch of aquariums up. Like on day 2 of owning the house, I want to put water and everything, get the water circulating in the room, the whole bit. And just so your 210s front glass bow way more than my older tanks, not liking them so much. Yeah. I'm not noticing that, but I've heard that complaint. And Tampa Tom, iguanas. Now, all of us should be. I'm going to bring this up just because it's something that is, for me, an important thing. And for most of us are people who are conservationists. We believe in the environment. It's the idea that any of us that are more serious, so many of us have. I know a lot of you guys have care species and trying to help grow the protect species. And one of the biggest problems in our ecosystem, and it's all over the country. Hey, 44 Meg guy, what's up? Is that invasive species, whether it be plants, whether it be birds or fish or animals, reptiles, they destroy the environment because they have no one competing against them. There's no one consuming them. Our ecosystem is not built for it. Well, Florida has invasive, because of that great weather, they have invasive species like there's no tomorrow. They've got issues with monitor lizards. The pythons in the Everglades, they're paying people to go out and take care of pythons. And they need to, because those snakes are busy eating eggs. They're really devastating taking out birds, native birds. Really important thing. So what's the rack I'm talking about? I was at like Home Depot and it looked really, really good. It's now I do have a question. I forgot the measurement on, but I think this was deep enough. So let's see here. Measurement of 29 gallon tank. Okay. Let me make sure I have this. Yeah, this isn't deep enough. It's like 30 inches, and these are like 24, so I'll have to do two next to each other. It's okay, but a 20 high is maybe 20 high is what I was thinking of as being 24. Yeah, it's 24 and a quarter. So I may have to play around with that. I don't know. We'll figure this out. We'll figure this out as we go through. Sand Creek is in the house. Welcome to the live stream. It's all good. So yeah, so that's the movement. The movement is like on day 2, set up all the aquariums. On day day 3, plug in all the aquariums, or plug in the heaters so I can get the the aquariums up to the temp, and then on day 5, begin the move over of the fish. So here's what my schedule is that technically my lease is up on the 30th of April. You don't pay your first house payment till the beginning of the next month. So my first payment is until May 1st for investing in myself by being a homeowner. So my process is I'm going to move I'm going to move all my stuff over on that first Saturday. And okay, okay, very good. Well, then I'll do that. Maybe the 20 high I do that. The 30 or the 29 gallon I can't. It's and I have to get these all have the metal mesh bottoms, so I've got to either put wood across them, which I think I'll probably do, and go from there. So pretty excited, about the whole process. Get these aquariums up and running as quickly as humanly possible, and then get my stuff over. I don't own a lot of stuff mainly because I've been a bachelor. And in fact, I've got to go on bachelor duty here. I've got like stuff like I'm pretty good at the keeping stuff organized. I'm not really good at getting like the cleaning of the floors, and I can vacuum reasonably well. The kitchen looks okay. I do dishes. Hey, Punchy Paints, what's up? Punchy Paints in the house. So it's just the whole deal of getting the just moving over, and then once you get the fish out and over, well, you've got to go and unplug the heaters. And I'm really paranoid, and I've said this before, I don't like reusing heaters, so I've got to purchase new heaters as well because I just don't reuse them. If you unplug them and plug them back in, I just think it adds to more problems. So they're cheap enough. Yeah, I end up getting a deal on my 10-gallon aquarium heaters. I end up buying them for like $7 to $8 each on Amazon. They get delivered, a day or two later. Perfect. So I've got to get that organized. And then, on that first day, just get all the equipment set up and then make the next step. The one thing I'm noodling in my head about, and since I'm using smaller fish, is my canister filter. If I do one of those 75-gallon aquariums at PetSmart, they usually have a good deal on there, Mr. Bees and things. It's not that far away. I'm thinking it's the same water I have here, so it's the dimensions of the water will be relatively similar, so that's good news. It's I'm only moving 5 minutes away or 5 miles away. It's about 10 minutes away. It's in another town, and I actually have to figure out. Let me it's let me figure out. Let me type in water service for. Let's see here. Let's see if it's the same water company. And it's a good question. I'm trying to think. Oh, I think it actually comes from. Let's see here. Where I am, the water comes from Missouri American Water, and so that's good stuff. So I'm looking at it right now, and so I'll figure that out. And So we'll figure it out. We'll figure this out all the way around. So it's again, maybe if I just type in the home address. Okay, I just typed in the deal, and it would be really nice if it was the same thing because I wouldn't have to put another deposit in. So it's let's see here. And I'm looking at everything here. It's city water, so it's I'll be going through the city. So I'm gonna have to learn more about that, but that's a good question, Brandon. I'm glad you brought it up. Um, so the whole process of of getting into the new home, of getting into the new stuff. Oh, let's see here. Who texted me? Oh, I just had some medicated fish food delivered, which I'll do a fish opening video up to my mailbox. I do not get mail at my home, mainly because I get so much stuff shipped in. I actually have paid for my mailbox. I got it at a UPS store, but there's several different companies that do that. And my uh, I've actually paid through like January or February of 2022. So I mean, it's no 2021 and next year. So it's all good. So I appreciate that because it's easy for to have the fish delivered. Sometimes you don't want to, do I really want to let my coworkers know that and I do talk fish way too much. Do I really want them every time I have fish stuff arrive? So it all goes there. It's all good. Um, the townhouse I've been renting, it's the the next block over. Okay, there's a halfway house, I think, for people going into recovery, which is great. There's a chemical dependency treatment center. Again, great. I have no issues. That's fine. But between them, and I'm not joking, is a hotel or a motel that rents by the week that has arrests. I swear to you, in the news, it's always coming up. They have arrests there every week, seemingly. Sometimes it's be like 2, 3 times in a week, and then it doesn't go on forever. And it's all for dealing in meth. It's all having something to do with meth every time. So I call it the meth hotel. And Bolo, if the weather's really nice and he wants to go for a walk, which isn't that much anymore because he's got a heart condition, and it's going from there. Yeah, I do not want to leave anything on my doorstep. The other thing about my doorstep is that it doesn't have an awning over it. That's also kind of like, if something rains or what have you, I don't want that. So I have no desire for that. So yeah, so that's the deal. So yeah, day one, I'll get those things in. I'll get a new bucket for aging fish. I'll actually have that when I go to I'll have another garbage bucket purely set up to load water. And I'll have that in my car. That'll be the first thing I deliver. In fact, that may be the first thing I do in the house. I'll close, I'll go over. I need to, and anybody who has bought a home like this, and also the home was used as a rental at one point or another, I'm going to have the locks changed. And there is not a lock to the garage. So if somebody got into the garage, they could get into the house. And as good of a dog my 7-pound guard dog is, yeah, he ain't getting up for that. It's if someone knocks on the door, he's at the point where he doesn't even do that. So it's all good. So I'll have to figure that out. So we'll go in from there. The other thing again, the 70 or 75 gallon aquarium gets in there the first day. I'll already have, I'll have Eco Complete delivered for that. And so I'll have that all set up. Then, again, just get those things running in the first day or so. Day 3. So it's a Monday. So on Wednesday, I plug in all the heaters. Then day 4, go out and do this. Oh, hold on a second here, gang. I've got to plug in my computer. I have to turn on my power to my computer. 1 second. Got to do that. Okay, there. Don't want to run out of battery during the live stream. Never good. Come on, Bolo. Come on. Say hi to everybody. There he goes. I woke him up. He was sleeping. He was upside down on my lap, sleeping away. So you'll get the heater going, and then boom, up and running. Oh, he wants to get down. Okay, Bolo, there you go. He'll be back in a second. He wants something to drink. And so, so the whole process here with this is that, day 3, plug everything in. Maybe on Friday I begin to move the fish over. I don't know. I'll figure that out. And the good news is my hours have sort of changed at the office. So I get up at the, butt crack of dawn. I'm awake at 4 a.m. every day. So it's but my day is over about 12:30, 1 o'clock, 1:30. So I get done, and then I can zip straight over to the house and get stuff in. And then that Saturday, I'm going to move everything over. I'll just have these fish tanks to take down, and then I'll move the rest of that over. Then I have to figure out my internet and cable. I've got to go over that. I don't get cable anymore. I unplugged, which, by the way, I'm kind of happy I did. I'm going to end up saving $100 a month, and I have better channels. There's one channel that Hulu doesn't have, but they have it as an option, and that is the Science Channel. I kind of like the Science Channel because I'm kind of a geek. So I may pay the extra money for that. So we'll figure that out. We'll figure that. You want to come up, Bolo? All right, here he comes. There he is. Yeah, this poor dog, so spoiled. By the way, he at the new house, he's going to have his first backyard. 12 years old. It's about time he has his own yard. To go out and play with. He can no longer enjoy it like he used to. He can move a little bit, but there's next door neighbors that have a couple of dogs, and he will be letting them know who's boss. And one of them is a gigantic German Shepherd. I mean, huge. And Bolo will quickly let him know who's boss. Who's the boss? So the one thing I have to also set up here is, I think with the 75 gallon, I think I'm going to make it into a show tank. You know how Corey at Aquarium Co-op has that full-time camera on, on the fish, on his puffer. I'm thinking I may do that with that aquarium, and just stream that on YouTube full time. I'm going to try to figure out what that is. So I'm going to play around with that. So that aquarium's going to go in the living room. The 55, I don't know where I'm going to put that one yet. I may put that in the living room as well. Have to it. Can you really have enough aquariums in the living room? Really? Probably not. So so that's part of the process of getting everything moved in and moved over. I'm again just really excited. Hey, Doug Gray, the 4th member of ZZ Top. That's correct. I'm the one without facial hair. And by the way, everybody, it is Doug Gray's birthday. Happy birthday, Doug. It's I didn't know that till I looked at Facebook this morning, but I got it in. So happy birthday, Doug. Thank you for being here. So yeah, so I will tell you with my guppies, I'm like on the edge. Well, 44 meg guy, I'm not gonna have to do that. Um, I'm only 10 minutes away, so I'm gonna put them in buckets and buy aquarium, drive over, and then just put them in. Vinny the Mooch, welcome to the live stream. Party can start. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go bring them in, and and just move them over bucket by bucket. Rinse out each bucket after I move them with hot water. And so I'm probably gonna move over 3-4 aquariums. I really only have like I have 3 older which I use for used water, which I'd probably move them over in. The clean water does not touch anything with fish, so I'll keep it that way. So I'll just have those older buckets, and I'll just put in enough water, to move them over, and then there's no easy way to do this. So on Friday, move a bunch over. Maybe I can start on Thursday, and then I move my stuff over on Friday. Then I rip down the aquariums, and then after a couple of weeks, move everything over. I have some things I don't want the movers to touch. I have some family china that comes from Bavaria that is from the 1800s. I was the one who inherited that. It's gold leaf china, and so that's that's all good. And by the way, I encourage all of you to sub to each other if you haven't done so as of yet. I swear to you, I was watching a live stream, and it's none of you people because you were all good folks, but it was one of the larger channels. And all of a sudden somebody said, hey, hey, please subscribe. I'll subscribe to you. Fair enough. And I will tell you, this channel stopped their live stream in the middle to chastise that person. Crazy. Just nuts. Stupid. So there you go. By the way, Doug Gray did a commercial. As much as he jokes about his dad jokes, poor humor, he told a couple of jokes in this last video he did that quite frankly was very funny. So, and I'm like a cynic on that. It either I laugh or I don't. And I laughed at these jokes, openly guffawed. I need to. I was a little. And he had 2 jokes that were really quite good in his most recent video. So at least for my demented sense of humor. So there you go. So the process is get everything over, like the China stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna move that over myself. I'm gonna probably go through a tank of gas that week, moving everything back and forth, which is fine. I'll start living in the house that Saturday, and really, Punchy? Do they really? That's weird. Okay, well, I encourage everyone to sub to each other in this group because I like you all, and I think I subbed to all of you guys as well. So it's there's one channel that I've seen today that I don't know if I sub to, but I'll make sure I do. I'll make sure I have. So the process of getting just getting the move done, ripping down the aquariums. Ripping down the aquariums, by the way, perhaps is the least fun job part of the job. So I'm just gonna go and get those things emptied out, and then once I'm done with that, I'm gonna promptly, bring in a cleaner to the thing and go from there. So, okay, Punchy. Well, it's good to know, Pam. What do I know? I'm just a simple man hanging out with my 7-pound dog on a couch, surrounded by fish, and talking to you. And that's all I do. So yeah, the fish can handle the move. Yeah, this is not this they're not going to be in that bucket for more than 15 minutes. I'm going to just bucket them up, drive over, probably net them out and move them. So that's just what I'm going to be doing. And so I look forward to it. I look forward to it. Um, yeah, so I obviously need to buy, more fish means, you know what? I need some more equipment. So I've got to get that in place. I don't know what I'm going to do because this top row, I'm going to have the 29s and the 20s. Let me go get my aquarium dimensions thing here. Aquarium dimensions. I do have a quick question about. So let's see, a 20 high is 16 inches, 16 and 3/4 inches. A 29 gallon is 18 and 3/4 inches. So they probably, I don't know. We'll figure this out. We'll figure it out. So I'm going to go and, and get that in place and go from there and have all the fun I can have with these fish. And yeah, here's the deal, Punchy, is that I'm going to move all the fish that are in the big tank here are going to be moved into a larger tank in the next home. So it's essentially I'm going to go and just move them over, and I'll move them over with the driftwood and with the decorative rock. I have this lava rock that has Java moss on it. I'm going to move that over, and so it's all good. So Vinny says, Doug Gray, you are the Henny Youngman of the Guppy world. Yeah, I would go there. Yeah, I think that's fair. And so yeah, so the whole move over is going to be great. It's just I'm going to have to set up sort of like there's so much stuff you can buy. And the flooring, by the way, I went out and priced the flooring. I'm going to have to go back to them and see, if I can do one of the bedrooms. I don't want to go into my savings any more than I have over the last year. It's I went through a job change in 2019. I moved in 2019. I bought a whole lot of aquariums in 2019. So I actually invested in some racehorses. Not that big of a deal. Sort of like setting up a nice aquarium. So yeah, so my deal is just to go out and get everything going on. And yeah, the flooring in my place. One of the reasons why I'm thinking of trying to I may set up my first round of fish in the by a big rack in the kitchen dining room area, is that everything has pretty much brand new carpeting. And you know what? That's not a bad idea, Doug. Um, and I looked at the flooring store, which is a company my company does business with. They were suggesting this interlocking vinyl flooring. And so I went and sort of priced it out, and I went and they had already measured it out and all that. And to do the guest bedroom, the fish room, and the living room was going to be about 3 G's. And I just don't know if I really want to spend that much. So I just don't know if I want to, go into it. So if I can go in, maybe I have to go back and sit there and say, okay, I want to do the one of the bedrooms. How much would that be? And if it's like 900 or $800 or something like that, maybe I do that. The carpeting is brand new, and I'm not necessarily worried about the big aquarium and the water. I'm more concerned about the smaller aquarium in the water. So, and I you know, I'm that's gonna be well, I was looking for a place, by the way, with a basement, but I sat there and I said, my laundry list of things that I wanted in a house, this clicked off 8 of 10. And I really wanted to look at a basement, but there was a trade-off. I told the realtor I wanted a home that was built in the last 20 years. He goes, yeah, there's a problem there if you want a full basement because of radon, and radon is an invisible gas that apparently causes cancer. That you really don't want a home with a basement. Okay. So, so then is that, yeah, I wish it had hardwood floors. And those were sort of the two things. It had the what I need, the backyard that's fenced. It had the all that sort of stuff going on at all times. So it's pretty well exactly how I want it. So it's just, I think I'm gonna have to make that fish room. Uh, I may have to just go in and price out just that bedroom and do that interlocking thing and have that put in like day one and just go in right from there. I have money set aside for the move, and because I have to get a washer and a dryer. Um, so it's so that's and I need to update the security thing, but now with like either a Nest, I have a Ring doorbell, so I'll probably stick with the Amazon thing. Amazon is already already spying on me pretty good. Hey, Anthony's fishy friends. Hey, no problem. Lurking is fine, brother. Lurking is fine. It's I appreciate it. So yeah, so that's sort of what's gonna go on from there. In fact, after today's live stream, I've got to fill up my water bucket, and I'm gonna go and take Bolo over to see. He has not been to the new house yet. The house doesn't have anyone in it. It's been used as a rental. So I've got so he's not been over there yet. So I think I'm going to drive over there with him so he can see it. And he likes to go along with me on things. Then I'll probably go to Best Buy today and look at there. And I may swing by PetSmart to take a look at that larger aquarium. That may be my little route today that I do. And it's all places Bolo can go. So yeah, so so that's just sort of the steps. I've got to order the heaters. I've got to order now for a 75-gallon aquarium. For the 55-gallon, I have a 300-gallon heater. For a 75, what size heater do you need really up front? Can I stick with a 300-gallon? Yeah, Bolo's new bachelor pad. You know what? I need to get him set up with the ladies. Bolo, uh, he makes really cute puppies, and his stud fee is $400 a whack. So it's the only pain in the butt is that people have to come over in your home. You serve them a beverage as you wait for the magic to happen, and then if she has the puppy in 60 days, that's it. You have to sign off on some paperwork online. Then you're done. It's and it's he generally if the fee here's the pain in the butt about the whole stud fee thing though, on the whole dog thing, is that if he goes in, yeah, that's why I have to work on it. I have to work well, they just don't come up. You have to go out and reach out, do different things. I just haven't done it. Used to be you could go on Craigslist and say stud fee, and they had no problem with it. But for whatever reason, Craigslist doesn't do that. And they had Backpage, and Backpage did two services. Number one, prostitution. Number two, they did dog love. And so Bolo go, yeah, $400 a whack. It's here's the deal about Bolo is that he's a show dog washout. He got just a little big, not much. If I would have paid more attention when he was younger and there was just life got in the way, he probably would have been a show champion. But he's just on the edge of being too big. Quite frankly, what would have been is I would have had to have paid a professional handler to get it done. And but his pedigree is aces. Both parents are show champions. And these little dogs, very rarely are the females show champions, mainly because they want the female to be a good mother. They have to be a certain size. They have to, they don't want Pomeranians over 7 pounds, and they've got to be in that 6 to 7 pound range. Got to be a bigger pom. So a champion female is not that usual. So, but both of his parents show champions. Bolo's mother comes from an international line. The father Bolo is a direct male descendant. His great-great-grandfather, the only Pomeranian ever to win Best in Show at Westminster. Bolo's, he comes from, he has a really good pedigree. So people want to breed to him. And plus, you guys have seen him. He's cute. And the color is sort of an advantage also. The black and tan color on the Pomeranian, that is, hey, what's up, D? The black and tan coloration on a Pomeranian is a recessive gene. Recessive. And yeah, 44 meg guy, yeah, here's the deal. You can't have enough fish in the fish room. You can't have enough aquariums. And no matter what your spouse says, you know what? When you say I need more room for the fish, they need to go, okay. It's all good. So that's sort of my my words of wisdom. So it's yeah, those are my words of wisdom. So I guess the other thing, am I forgetting anything, by the way? I'm moving these fish aquariums over. I also have to order a lot of sponge filters. And I probably hit Gemco about doing a larger type of bump to the fish room. I have to figure out if that makes sense. And my deal is finding, and I'm guessing they would offer a gang valve that would hit all those, that could hit 40 aquariums, at the same gang valve, and that'd be cool. So those are a couple of things that I'm going to be doing. Oh, you got your pump from Ken's Fish, Doug? Yeah, I'll look there. I was going through his website, the Ken's Fish website the other day, looking at stuff. Oh, you got the manifolds from Janko. Okay. Well, D, how wrong can he have gone? You're the National Geographic lady. Slab, Vinny the Mooch, built on a slab. Yeah, you see, Anthony's fishy friends. Well, I think you're exactly correct. Because of my hands, I have. It's not Parkinson's. It is hereditary tremors. My dad had this, and let's see what they are right now. You see my hand? My hand doesn't stay still. I can't hold it still. So a lot of that construction junk, I can't do. I physically cannot do it. So I can hire somebody to do it, but I really don't want to. So yeah, so some of this stuff, some of the DIY stuff and by the way, it's just, again, I'm really good at a number of things. DIY ain't one of them. It's ooh, they do. Ooh, okay. Well, then I am going to look at that, Doug Dre. They have a manifold with 28 nozzles in it. I can do that. I can do that very quickly. So I'll take a look at that. I'll take a look at that once we're done with the deal here, and dig in. And there's so much for me to do today. What else is going on? I really need to set up more guppy breeders, and I can't because of the move. It's just going to be an extra few things. I had the Roebuck Reds. In fact, I ended up ordering some medicated fish food from Everything Aquatic because I had my Roebuck Reds. I set up a trio, and they were in this tank. Okay, Doug, I'll look that up. I'll look at that older video and take a look at that. Thank you for the tip. So I'm beginning to think, I had a trio of Roebuck Reds set up in this tank for at least 6 weeks, and nothing, nada. And the fish didn't look like they were doing all that well. They weren't swimming around. It's the fish right next to them, which was a swordtail trio. Well, they started, after you got past day 3 in there, they started swimming around like there was no tomorrow. Well, these guys, not so much. Well, all of a sudden they started moving more. And out of the blue, I am guessing at it just by looking at it. I'm guessing there's like 25, 30 fry in there. I mean, there's a bunch of them. So I'm, so obviously that's over with. So that's good news. So, but I have medicated fish food. It arrived just a couple of minutes ago. I got a text, and that's what it was. It was at my mailbox. What time did that arrive? It and let's see here. And delivered as the live stream was getting going. Let's see here. And so lots of fun there. So good news. Yeah, go get your coffee. Go get your cup of Joe. I am like one of these people with coffee. Bolo woke me up at 5:30 this morning. The first thing I did is make a pot, and I drank. As Lisa says on my Mr. Coffee, I drank like 6 cups of coffee. Had eggs and vegan sausage for breakfast. But I'm not somebody who can drink coffee in the afternoon. It's occasionally I will get I'll hit a Starbucks and get that all set up occasionally. So just go in right from there. So it's and I usually get a latte. But like at the office, office coffee, unless it comes in like the Keurig cups. I worked at a place when I worked in New York, they had the Keurig cups. And I said to the business manager which coffee I liked more, and he goes, "Okay." So he went in and had a bunch of I like breakfast coffee that's not too strong. And he ordered that. It was great. I loved it. So it's so the whole cup of Joe thing is really important deal. So yeah, so I have a bunch of fry from the Roebuck Reds. The cross I did with the that I have to move the older fry out because they're not related. Um, I did this cross with half red cobra, blonde cobra, half red blonde cobra guppy with swordtail females. And so I know a bunch of little teeny fry. So obviously that's the father. You are the father. Maybe someone from the local fish club. Yeah, here's the deal. The local fish club's like an hour away. Um, it's in either direction. I'm a member both of the Springfield Traditional Aquarium Club and not the Springfield non-traditional, not the exotic Springfield Aquarium Club, this traditional. And I've been to some of their meetings. They're great people. I like them. And the Northwest Arkansas, and both of those are like 1 hour away. See, there you go. It's there you go, Doug. Get an assistant in the fish room. Sort of like how the magician has a pretty gal he works with. Well, and yep, it's and that's the way it should be. And a concubine. So again, so other than that, let's see, what do I know? My I'm just in the process of getting all my stuff organized and all of that. I need to get more lights for the aquariums. It's gonna be fun. It's so to move into the into the deal, here's my budget. I'm gonna go through my budget. And now that Doug gave me that suggestion to go to Gemco to look for that in Ken's Fish, I'm probably gonna go from there. And yeah, you see, there you go. Looking at a pretty girl or looking at me. It's cheesecake. So let's look at this. Let me grab my calculator. So it's because I've got truck rentals, which won't be terribly expensive because it's going to be in town for a day. So it's going to be $30 plus gas, and so and since moving is going to be sort of like 3 times, it's going to be like, let's just budget $50 per time. Okay, times 3, $150. For movers, for that, I've got movers already set up. They're going to do 3 different days for a total of $400. Okay, washer and dryer is I've been looking at it. It's like $750. Okay, all right, we're at $1,300. All right. Now the aquarium rack. Okay, I looked at one today that that was 290. Okay, all right. That now the 70-gallon aquarium at PetSmart is going to be about 350 because I've seen them on sale for 299. Okay, so I'm at $1,900. Okay, yeah, isn't that great? And then I need 229s, and then 220 highs, and and six tens. Okay, I'm at and well, let's see here. I need to get I'm looking at, when everything is said and done, I'm going to be about 3 grand into this thing just for the move over. So it is what it is. It's all good. Dan Slee, welcome. Thanks for stopping by the live chat. So yeah, it gets pretty expensive pretty quick, but once I'm in, I'm in. And now that my fish room is becoming self-supporting, I'll get my LLC up and running, and so I can write off the room where I have the fish. So what about that? What do you think about that? So it's all good. So I can write that off and go from there. Yeah. So that's sort of my great master plan. So I'll have a total of 16 10-gallon aquariums. I'll have the 55 and I'll have the bigger one. I will have 3 29-gallon aquariums, all for Amika Splendens, 220 highs for grow outs. And I can get a third as time goes on. So that's what I'm going to do. That's the basic setup there. And so that's sort of the deal. So I'll get that all set up, and then I will be set in my home and won't have to worry about a thing. Well, do you know what? I don't have a store set up yet. I just made my first sale of shrimp. In fact, I have to ship out 80 shrimp to Fire Red Shrimp to Logan at Ambest Aquatics. He's a reseller. And so, yeah, I'm going to be selling fish online, through like Aquabid and eBay. Um, it's yeah, I'm not really there yet, but I will be. So I will have my my swordtails, my I'm hoping this cross works well that I have going. It would be really cool to come up with a red blonde cobra swordtail. Sort of what it would be great to see. So we'll see that, and we'll play with that and go from there. There's a guy down at the aquarium club that I'm a member of in Northwest Arkansas. That's a good idea, Doug. It's well, you know what? By the way, the whole deal of selling fish on eBay, is that you know, Aquabid, obviously for those of us, it's a whole different deal. But if there's a market in eBay, a lot of people go there. So there's a guy at the Aquarium Club, Northwest Arkansas, who has his own strain of albino reds, and they really look good. They're huge. Um, and so I would like to get a from him once I'm set up. Get like a trio and a pair. So I can start that, and then at some point I can cross them over with the Roebuck Reds and create my own little line of reds. That would be kind of a neat thing to try. And so, yeah, and Doug, you sell stuff on Aquabit. Have you sold stuff on eBay, fish on eBay? And Doug did a video, I don't know, in the last probably 3-4 weeks here. Um, I'll tell you what, Doug did this video that he had bought a strain of Guppies, and they were supposed to be one thing, and the fry came out, looked nothing like the parents. He never could get fish to look like the parents. Biggest scam in the world. Doug, did you get those off of eBay or Aquabit, or did you get them somewhere else? So, but the reds this guy has are pretty nifty. eBay, yeah, it used to sell on eBay. Uh-huh. Oh, you got those on eBay, the bad fish on eBay, Doug. Okay. Yeah, so again, it's just all I can say is that I can't worry about, is that when I get to the point where I am selling fish, and I'm going to have to sell fish, there's two things. It's get a turtle to eat all the fish, or a Oscar, or, sell them and give them new homes, make trading deals with local aquarium shops. And there's only one aquarium shop in town here, and I stopped by the other day to see if I have a bunch of swordtail males that I'd trade her for food. I'll trade fish for food. Um, but she wasn't there when I stopped by, so maybe today I'll do that. And yeah, it's Schedule C on the taxes. That's a good thing to do. The LLC is relatively cheap to do, and I'll get with my tax person because it's just never ever never claim a deduction for business use of your home. Why is that, Doug? Schedule C, I don't think you can, but I think you can with an LLC. And you can also write off portions of your portions of your electric bill, portions of that, and any type of extra money you can get. So that's right. You worked for the IRS for 30 years. You know what to do and what not to do. Okay. And it's an instant audit, business use of the home. Yeah, well, maybe it does. It's it also depends how much you make. It's it the ex-wife and I had sort of a family business that never made money. It did get it wasn't a profitable thing. We lost money every year. It was great. Our enrolled agent, she took care of us, and every year we had kind of a nice write-off. We never did get audited. All right. Yeah. So it's so we didn't get audited, but again, I see how that can be a concern. So it's I really don't. There's really nothing for me to worry about. My income is what my income is. Very strict rules. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll get with my accountant over this. I need an accountant, by the way, here in town. The ex-wife got the enrolled agent. That was sort of when we split up. She was buddies with the tax lady. So, and she wrote it all up, and whatever she did for in her tax preparation, we never got audited, thank God. So, I have a buddy of mine who he makes six figures a year, sometimes almost seven figures a year. He makes a lot of dough, all on 1099s. 1099 is freelance money. And he got audited 10 years in a row. He got audited every time. And he always paid 4 or 5% extra. And with that 4 or 5% extra, he always got an extra refund. And he said he paid a little bit extra on purpose because he knew, because of how much money he was making, it's that he was going to get nailed. He was going to get audited. And so that's what he did year after year. And it's his money was all from all basically for doing what he did, so he didn't have anything that was strange. It wasn't like this guy was a drug dealer. When my parents bought their home in California, this guy's dead, so it doesn't matter. I can tell the story. They were told that they had a mom and her college-age son was the next door neighbor, and it was a new development. So move in, we never saw the mom. The quote unquote college age son was a drug dealer. No question. He was on the cover of Carcraft magazine for a Camaro he did. Well, we were able to sort of figure this out. He didn't have a lot of people coming in and out of the house, but he had like his crew that always showed up. And one of the members of his crew got stabbed. And my mom liked that member of the crew. She thought he was really nice. He seemed to be kind of like the security guy, kind of the heavy guy. And this guy had a bunch of pit bulls, of course. And you ask him what he did for a living. He always just sat there. And he said that he was a welder. And he did have welding equipment, which is not cheap to have. I mean, he had a full set of stuff. He never used it. It's and my parents were in that house for, let's see here. They were in that house for like 18, 19 years. And at about 10 years in, this guy kept getting arrested, and it was ruled a suicide. He was found in his own bed, deader than a doornail. It's it's you go through and yeah, it's the wacky audits. When I talk to you next, Doug, I'll tell you who my friend is. And it's somebody, if I made mention of his name, I don't like being too much of a name dropper, but you would know the name. And so a star of TV, movies, athletics, and an author. He's written several best-selling books. So, but again, this buddy of mine is just, I mean, he just has money coming in from all sorts of different areas. Plus, he's a retired military guy, so it's he gets a lot of dough from a lot of different places. So it's all good. It's I'm trying to think. Yeah, so again, that yeah. So we've gone from fish to drug dealing and writing it off through welding. That's the way we do it here at Mob Guppy, where the Guppy is the mob. Hey, by the way, I want to thank you guys so much for. We have a couple minutes left. I want to thank you guys so much for being subscribers and for hitting like and doing all that sort of stuff. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that you were patient with me last weekend for not having a live stream because I lost my voice. I use my voice a lot for work, and Friday, a week ago Friday, I was just totally locked. Totally, I mean, just locked. And it was just, I knew if I started to speak, I would be in a whole lot of trouble. And let's see, is this to me? Did you stop saying that you're Frank Sinatra's secret son on your Tinder profile? Yes, I did. Sad. Very sad. Very sad all the way around. Yeah, stop saying I was Sinatra's son on my Tinder profile. And I also got to bring up, by the way, in my in my Tinder profile, that I was, my greatest athletic achievement was because I was elusively slow. Didn't move all that well. It's and by the way, I played basketball in high school, poorly, but I played. I was on the team. I got a letter. I was a letter man. But here's the deal with my basketball play: is that I'm 5'7", and I preferred to crash the boards, and I would get under the boards and I would elbow the big trees. I mean, I threw elbows like there was no tomorrow. And ironically, they ended up usually calling the fouls on the poor person I hit with the elbow. Because I guess they thought I was so short. If all of a sudden someone pushed on me, there was like movement because I was like 5'7", 118 pounds. Well, I'm nowhere near 118 pounds today. I filled up kind of nicely, but yeah, it was a mini shack. Mini shack. I was a better free throw. I was better at free throws than Shaq was, but basically an 8-year-old is. How Shaq got through an NBA career not being able to shoot a free throw is one of the great mysteries of our time. But it's all good. You don't think that 44 Meg guy just saying that you're elusively slow? Hockey, Chewy, hockey, right? It's getting deep now. Yes, it is getting deep now. Okay, gang, let me check out. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you're there for D's. Check out everybody's pages and enjoy some great videos. I hope Doug, I hope you have a great birthday. And again, I'll have a video up tomorrow, and we'll see you Monday night at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's Mob Guppy, where the Guppy is the mob. Thank you very much for joining in today.